Let's speak now to Van Meguerditchian, who is a Lebanese political analyst, and he joins us live now from Paris. Thank you for being with us on the program. Now, when we talk about this explosion, a lot of the Lebanese bring up political corruption in the country because they resort to the reason of this explosion being political corruption. How are the two linked?
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me. Of course, this is linked to political corruption, but in a sense of to understand what happened 3 years ago in Lebanon, one has to look at how Lebanon is living today and has seen other instances of such terrorist attacks in the past. So, for example, every time there was a terrorist attack in the past 30 years after the civil war ended in Lebanon, for some reason, investigations were inconclusive. So investigations were never conducted in a proper manner. How are the investigations usually handled? Usually when a crime like this happens, there is an investigation that is opened by the security services to analyze what happened, ask a question, what really happened on that day, at that specific time, in that specific place. The Lebanese government has not asked that question to begin with. The second phase of collecting data and information, the Lebanese government has failed to do that as well. The third phase, going to analyzing what the information they have, the Lebanese government has went into an infighting to say that we are unable to analyze the collected data, whatever they have on this, so we cannot reach any conclusions, which is basically the last phase of an investigation upon which the security services should arrest certain number of people to blame them, to accuse them, to charge them of this crime. What the Lebanese government or what the Lebanese security services have done before reaching to the conclusion, before reaching to their analysis and concluding their investigation, they have arrested a bunch of people with very minor responsibilities who have given them no answers whatsoever. And whoever has asked the questions, the right questions, like a judge, an investigative judge, whose name was Tariq Bitar, the person who dared ask the right questions was forced to stop the investigation, was threatened to pull away from the investigation because it would harm the national security interests of Lebanon.
Right.
Which, in this case, there is no sense to talk about it because there is no more national security interest in the country.
Right. So, as you've mentioned, the process of holding government officials to account has been blocked numerous times. As you mentioned, Tariq Bitar was one of the judges leading the case, and he was blocked from holding anyone to account regarding this explosion. What needs to happen for justice to be served for the 200 plus lives that were lost on that day?
I think there are multiple things that should happen at the same time. And unfortunately, these things to happen at the same time, they require a lot of luck. Lebanese have to be very lucky, not only to regain their judicial system, but also they need to be lucky that the international community, especially the United Nations Security Council and all of its members, to agree that whatever information they have, they could share with the Lebanese judicial system so that the perpetrators of this horrible crime are brought to justice. So the Lebanese justice system has to succeed, number one. Number two, the international community, the Security Council has to agree that whatever information they have, they should put it at the disposal of the Lebanese. Number three, the non-state actors like Hezbollah in Lebanon should be weakened so that they would allow this situation, would allow the Lebanese government to accept the information given to them by the international community and act upon it. So all these things have to happen for Lebanon to get justice for all the victims of the Beirut port explosion. So almost a miracle has to happen for us to get justice for the victims.
All right, Van Meguerditchian, Lebanese political analyst, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us. Let's get a